Stream Elements. Musk is now live. Streaming Assassin's Creed Odyssey, no bad days. Thanks for tuning in, hope you enjoy. To stay up to date with the latest news and information, join us on the Discord at Dino. Here a new stream about No Bad Days is out. If you see this from Discord, pop through and say hi to the devs of NBD. If you see this on YT, pop through the server on PSN and take a peek at what we got going so far.
Give me just a second, I gotta fix my cameras here. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna give it about another 3 minutes. And if the person that wanted to do this isn't here, I'm gonna go ahead and start without them and make us watch the video. I got other stuff I need to do. Oh, what's up, Jay?
I fixed it.
Good shit. Good shit.
Fucking, I tried everything, and then I did that thing that you said to bring it to the front.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't work, so I fucking fucked around with a few other things. Looked on YouTube. It was all a bunch of fucking right-click the taskbar and try and drag it up. It wouldn't let me. So I went back onto the thing that you said. Double-click on the taskbar, and I clicked maximize, and it worked straight away.
Huh. What happened was, I bet it got shrank and pushed over to a screen or pushed over to an area where you don't have a monitor. I bet
That's what happened. Yeah, it is, because it was like, it was flickering. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on here? I tried closing one of my monitors, in display settings. I tried a bunch of different things and I could not get it to work. And then I just fucking looked again on that thing that you said, clicked on maximize, and it worked. Because I had the audio and everything. It was showing in my taskbar, but I just couldn't open it. I was super confused. Super fucking confused. And then I literally clicked on that thing you said and pressed maximize, and it worked straight away. Okay.
Alright, I just sent a message to that dude that wanted to hop in. Let me close the major Discord. I did figure out the other day that if you pop out the window for the chat and then downsize the rest of Discord, it pulls a lot less on my system. So like my system is somewhat manageable if I close the rest of Discord, but just keep that pop out window for the chat. It pulls a lot less on my system.
Yeah, I was just looking at mine, and there's a bunch of shit on my system that I don't. It's running in taskbar, and I don't even know what half of it is. So I need to fucking figure that out.
Yeah, those background tasks can weigh a lot, depending what they are.
The only thing it's pulling on is my memory, and but it's like it was on like 30% with only Steam open. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that's way too much.
I know. I have 32 gig as well, so it's not like fucking. I have a small memory thing. You know what I mean? I have a lot of memory, so 30% of 32 gig is a fucking lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I need to figure out
32 gigs is shit. That's more than a quarter of it. That's more than 8 gigs. That's my whole system, bro.
and I have no idea. Most of the shit that's showing up on my taskbar, I don't even know what it is or if I need it or what. Like, so I need to fucking do some research into that and figure out why it's because I can pick what I want to run and what I don't, but I don't know
the biggest
what's
thing for mine is usually like my startup programs. I'll go through my startup programs in the task manager and pick which ones I want to start and which ones I don't. The only things I let start is like my audio stuff and my NVIDIA stuff. That's it. So normally without my taskbar running, NVIDIA and SteelSeries are the only things that'll pop up in mine, other than like, volume and your internet connection, your Windows security. Those are all pretty standard. But
Dino. At here Musk is live. Streaming No Bad DayZ. If you see this from Discord, pop through and say hi to the devs of NBD. If you see this on Twitch, pop through the server on PSN and take a peek at what we got going so far.
all right. Well, I'm streaming and I'm gonna wind up going back on this stuff later to chop it up and make small tutorials for this stuff.
yeah.
Give me just a second though. Let me turn that off. Not just a second.
My files are still crashing my shit.
I'm gonna leave my camera off for just a second while I take my cough medicine.
For some reason, I have to do that every fucking time now.
But when you open it,
Yeah.
oh, it's because that default window. Remember you got it starting as minimized or as a smaller screen, so it's not popping full. There should be somewhere somehow to grab it and pull it over there, but I don't. Let's see. The only thing that I could think off the top of my head is if you rearrange your monitor system, right? So go into settings, go into your displays. And even though you're not actually moving your real displays in that little thing where you can move them around, move one around and try each of the four sides of the one that it's popping it into, whichever one it goes full screen. Try all four sides of that thing. Like just grab another monitor and rotate it around there and move it to those four sides and see if you can get it to pop up on one of them. I bet it does. And I bet you'll once you move it out of there, you'll be able to pull it to the screen you're trying to. That's the only thing that I can think. Because if it's pulling to one of the sides, it's got to be in there. It's got to be at one of those four edges. If I remember, every time you move the display, whichever side you move it to, as soon as you get it in the position, you have to click apply for it to actually take effect for those sides. And then once you get it done and you get it put back where you want, then all you got to do is put it back to you the way you had it originally. Hey, what's going on, bub? I saw you playing COD, man. I figured I'd let you finish your round before I got started. I'm streaming, but I'm gonna take my cough medicine right quick. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll turn my camera and shit back on and we can start from the beginning. AJ, we've already AJ knows a little bit. He's gone through one of these things with me before, and
All right.
so I'm just gonna do what I can to, because I've been meaning to stream this anyway, so I can chop it up later and make tutorials for people in the future, so we
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to do this every time. But you don't want it? What you want to trade? All right.
I'm just getting everything set up on my computer now.
Cool, cool. So, do you already have DayZ Editor on there?
I got it. Does it take a while to download?
Shouldn't. No. It's really just a tiny add-on.
Got you. Oh, like, where do I look this up at?
Okay, go to. Sorry, just a second.
You're good.
If you oh, okay. If you go to the workshop in Steam and just look up DayZ Editor, you should be able to click on
Wait, so I
DayZ.
gotta open DayZ?
You got to open Steam.
Here?
Get
Okay,
Steam
open
open.
Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm opening my library right now too, so that I can actually show you and explain while I do it.
Okay, hold on.
Downsize
Let me
this.
just join this on my computer real quick.
You're good.
All right.
At times, you might have to bear with me because my system is crazy old and stupid slow.
You're chilling.
So, okay, when you're in Steam in your library, if you highlight DayZ, right under where it says play, you'll see a little list of things. At the back of that list is a spot called Workshop. Workshop is like the place where Steam lets the community mod itself. If the game has mods that they offer, Workshop is where you find it. So if you click
Wait,
on Workshop,
I'm in my library. Hover over Steam, you said?
no, hover over, like click on DayZ, where it shows you
Okay.
the page and stuff. Okay, now
Yeah.
underneath the play button, you'll see store page, DLC, community hub, point shop, discussion
Oh,
guides, and
workshop.
workshop. And workshop
Okay.
is the one you want. Once you're in workshop, there should be a search bar, and you just type in DayZ Editor. Yeah. And when DayZ Editor pops up, it'll tell you all the things it needs.
Okay.
I'm sorry, don't mean to interrupt. I'm verifying my files in DayZ in Steam to see if that helps with the crashing issues.
Okay.
I don't know what else to try. I don't know why I'm having that issue.
Did you already move your monitors around and that still didn't work?
No, I got that working. I'm just worried about the crashing thing now. About
Oh,
I
the
know
crashing
DayZ
thing?
crashes. I'm on about the files.
Yeah.
The
Oh, the
files.
files, backing up the files,
Mm.
other than just manually backing them up, there's nothing else you can do. Because you always run the risk of anytime you do an update, losing those files. I've seen that's happened to me at least twice. That's why I started backing mine up on a fucking daily basis. Which is actually a good habit to be in if you're a server owner anyway, because you want to have constant backups of not just your server, but your custom builds, your custom
Mm-hmm.
XMLs, all that shit. You want to have regular backups so that no fuckery can befall you.
Okay, so I subscribe to DayZ Editor.
Okay. With that, there should have been a total of 4 files. Let me pull. It should be
Oh, CF Builder
CF, Dabs,
items.
DayZ Editor, and Builder items. Now,
Yeah.
once they're all finished downloading, um, when you go to play the DayZ itself, it'll launch you into that first. I think the news is where it pops up by default. I changed mine and I made mine go straight to the mods. But in the mods, when you click on DayZ Editor, it'll tell you the 3 other things that you need to have activated. When you're editing for console, there's one of them in there that you don't need, and it actually cuts your item list in half if you turn off builder items. builder items are items that you can mod with in PC, but not in
Hmm.
console. And for every item that's in the game, there is a duplicate of it in the builder's items. So there are two different versions of every item, every wall, every structure, every gun, everything. So something like 7,000 items. It doubles that list when that's turned on. So one, it makes it slower because it's twice the amount of shit it has to keep up. And two, you might accidentally use one of those pieces in your build, and then when they come into the world, when they come into Nitrado for the server itself, they won't appear because builder items don't technically work. So if you disable that, then it'll try to tell you different. It'll tell you that you need it, but you don't. And it actually speeds up your shit, not using it.
Bruh, how
Okay.
did I not know this? I didn't know you could right click the fucking mouse to move while.
So when I go to builder items, I click
Yeah,
remove mod.
you don't have to remove the mod. You leave it in, but once you click on the play button for DayZ, there'll be a section in the mods page there that you'll be able to go through. Matter of fact, not sure if you have Twitch or YouTube, either one, whichever you watch. I've actually got the screen up in front of me. If you on PC or your phone or whatever, if you want to pop over to my stream, got those things
Yeah.
on my screen. Now, I just can't do it both in the Discord chat and to my OBS at the same time. It's too much for my poor
Right.
little system to handle.
You're good.
Hence why you need to start making some money.
I know. That's
And
actually what I've been
stop
working on
worrying
all day
about.
today.
Yeah, I was gonna
The
say
rest of the
stop
world.
worrying about random open world shit and just get yourself some fucking money and.
Yeah, can't help it. I'm not greedy.
I
I
know,
want to see
but
the
at the
world get
end of the
big.
day, yeah, but you, at the end
Yeah,
of the
I need to
day, I
upgrade
know
this
you're
piece of
not
shit.
greedy, but it's if you're going to be looking at it as a kind of a business, then it's a business expense. You need to get a decent PC. It doesn't even have to
All right.
be the best PC. It just has to be one that you're not struggling with every day.
Right.
I got you
Okay.
opened up.
Okay. So back in the library, go ahead and hit the play button. The play button is going to take you to this. Now I've already got mine open. So this right here, builder items, that's the one you turn. And then just
So I
run
have
CF.
to. Okay, so I gotta look for all of those in here.
No. If you've already downloaded them onto Steam, they'll automatically be in there. As soon as you hit play, this screen will come up. It might
They're
pop
not
up at your
checked off
news.
though.
Yeah, you just uncheck it. Yeah, you don't have to uninstall anything. It's actually better to leave it in there because at some point in time, you might want to, there's like certain items are in there that aren't in the others. Say, for example, the walls and the gates that the players can build. There is no version of that in the others, but in the builder items there is. So sometimes you can go in, like say if you wanted to measure the width of a door, you could take two stone pieces and put them on either side of one of those doors, then delete the door in the middle, save that file, and then you can upload it when you're just running these three. So you know the sizes of doors and shit like that, and you can incorporate that into how you build. Actually,
All
I've
right,
got a door frame that I've already done. Anyway, once
got
you
you.
get this, you get these three highlighted, click on play. It's going to launch into the game. I also already have open. Um, Before we get started to anything, I'll teach you what options and settings that are best for any given system. My system is hot shit. Like less than 4 gigs of CPU and 8 gigs of RAM. So like I'm hot trash. But I've figured out through manipulating this thing and tweaking with different settings how to turn it down. Like when you put it in the game, when the Nitrado takes it in, it's going to look brilliant anyway. So when you're in the editor, you don't need high resolution, anything like that. The reason that I do mine windowed instead of full screen is because sometimes when you load different files, other people's builds or shit that you can download from all kinds of free places and stuff, sometimes it's a little heavy on the software. So in the top,
Got you.
you can see it pop up and it'll say not responding, and you can just wait and watch your taskbar or your task manager and watch the performance. If that thing is still moving and bouncing up and down, then you know that it's actually working on it as hard as it can. It's just working so hard it can't take any new commands. And it'll say not
Mm-hmm.
responding, but it's thinking in the background. I've seen files take up to 15 minutes to load in. They did fucking load in. So I run mine windowed like that. And the two things that I keep in the background so I can see what's going on is the task manager. And then in my folders, I open up, they pull this to the right spot. So I'll go all the way back and open up documents, and you'll see a folder called DayZ. Open up the one called editor. And this is where all of your game saves or all of your builds are stored. The white ones here are DZE files. That just means a DayZ editor. And then the other ones are JSONs. JSONs are what Nitrado reads. That the only type that work with Nitrado. And a lot of people pass the JSONs around. But I'm trying to institute a thing with the builders here where we're going to pass DZE files instead. JSON files don't retain size changes. Nitrado will read it correctly as the size that it's supposed to be. But if you reload it back into editor, it will put all of the objects back to their default size. So if you have size changes, it resets them all when you reload them into editor. However, DayZ editor saves don't. They retain the size changes exactly the way they were. So you continue a project over and over and over. If you pass projects like this, then we get to share work a whole lot easier and make bigger, better places. A lot of places. I'm in like 18 different DayZ editing discords, and none of them are using this. So I'm trying to get ahead of the curve and start teaching people how to pass DayZ editor stuff instead of just the JSONs. The JSON needs to be the final step in any given project. When you're ready and it's finished and you're ready to put it into Nitrado, you export it as a JSON in order to put it in.
See, I don't. When I clicked on the editor file, the only thing that popped up is another folder. It's just called missions.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
so,
it. It's all supposed to be there right now because you don't have any projects yet. You haven't downloaded anything.
okay.
So yours, let's see. See, mine is actually set funny, and I was about to say it the second. This is the default, like when it's normally a folder opens up by its name. And what I do is I click on date modified so that it shows me the one that's saved the most recent. And then I'll just grab this. And this tells me because editor crashes. Editor crashes because it's built by a community. It's built by a dude named Gabs, who's made a good bit in donations from it, but it's still just freelance software. It's still just a community of people who help build this thing. So it goes sideways sometimes, it crashes. So every day before I start doing anything in any given project, the very first thing I do is that whole DayZ folder from documents. I'll copy that and put it somewhere else on my desktop or somewhere else on my computer and make a backup. And just I do that every day. So I'll delete the old one and then paste in the new one every day so that if something ever goes wrong and I lose some work or it crashes or an update causes me, but because if anything goes wrong with editor, it'll wipe this whole file. This all your work will just disappear. So just out of habit, I back mine up every day.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's have this back. Now, let's see. I'll go back to my main screen. As you should. This should be up for you by now. Should be like a camera or something up in front of your shit.
I'm loading in currently. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
I'm in.
All right. Down at the bottom, it'll say open or play.
Right.
Let's go. And then Chernerus is Cherno, of course. And then the other one, that Enoch, that's Livonia. So click on Cherno and then click open.
Yeah, I'm in Cherno right now.
I gotta get back to select.
I don't have the Livonia thing. That's probably because I don't own Livonia on my computer yet.
Yeah, probably won't show. So probably just
Yeah.
leave the one option. It does the same thing on a server. So say for example, Nitrado, if you only have the Cherno server, it only shows the one in there. But if you run a server on both, it'll show you both within the same folder. Okay. So basic get started stuff is it tries to be as close with most of its shortcuts as it would for a normal text document. So things like Control C, Control V, and stuff like that, undo and redo, shit like that is all pretty standard. Controls of items. Let's scroll down to something. Okay, if you're start with this, if you're working on a project in any given kind of way, you'll go to File, and we're just gonna go Save As. I'm gonna name this file Tutorial. Tutorial. I'm a horrible speller. Capital T.
Wait, so what file is
All right,
this
so
in?
I've saved that file. That spot is automatically going to go to right there. See it popped up at the top
File.
by my timestamp. Now that I've got that, sometimes the editor fucks up and the redo and undo button won't work. So the very first thing I do on any given project, even when I'm just starting off for the day and working on another project, is I'll drop some bullshit item in, usually like gloves or something that don't matter. I'll make sure it's not highlighted, then highlight it, right click, and cut it. For some reason, if you cut from the moment you cut and undo, the undo button unsticks. Sometimes you'll load one in and the undo and redo buttons won't work. Always want those, because if you make a mistake while it's still running, you can just bump one thing back.
Wait, so how do you re-highlight it? Oh, never mind, I got it.
Click on the little red box.
Yep.
Let me see if I can drop that. My system is running crazy hot. Yeah, my poor little system. There ain't even nothing in this world. It's topped the fuck out just between OBS editor and one Discord call. Oh, actually, probably drop that. Yeah, that. I don't need that no more. Yeah, that pulled it a little bit. Anything else? Nope. Okay. Okay. Now we'll go. First thing I'll show you is how to operate the map. If you hit the M key, when you can see your mouse. So spacebar will toggle your mouse in and out. When you can't see your mouse, the mouse acts as your camera. When you hit spacebar, it comes back. And if you need to do it quickly, you can just hold right click and pull your camera around as you need. The
Yeah.
movement keys are WSAD, like always, Q being up, Z being down. If you hit M, you'll pull up a map, pull back on your mouse wheel. And if you click on the middle on the mouse wheel, you'll see a little crosshair that moves around. It kind of drags, but that's your camera positioning. Once that's moved to, say,
Oh.
for this, we'll go to the airfield or something, somewhere nice and flat, where it's easy to see the difference between the direction and shit. Whenever I start a project, this is kind of stupid, but I'll go up here in the search bar, top left hand side, and I'll look for a ramp. AMP. I usually get this one right here. This little static object platform 1 ramp. I'll place it any given place, it doesn't really matter, but I'm using it as a guide. So when you
Wait,
click on
so
them,
where'd you get that again?
just in this little bar right here, type in ramp, and it's this one right here.
Oh, the search bar?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, now I use it as a guide to know what direction what is. So like when you go to move things with the arrow keys, when you want to fine tune something, up is always north, left is always west, and so on. So I use this thing because I know that ramp
Yeah.
always faces the right. So I know just by moving it around. So that way, before I go to move something, I know which direction I need to pull it in. Because when you move something, let's say if I just moved it from here to here using my keyboard, every time I go to undo, it goes by 1 click. So each one is an individual
Right.
click. Whereas if you took it with the mouse and moved it, right, it's just 1 undo rather than several. So I do that when I'm going to fine tune something, so I don't accidentally fine tune it the wrong way, because I know it's going to take me a second. One of the best things to get used to, and I wished I'd have known this from the start, but if you hold C and roll your mouse wheel backward or forward, forward will make your camera speed go faster, backwards will make it go slower. So you can use it to jump how fast your camera moves and shit. I can either go stupid
Okay.
fast, or I can slow it down and really fine tune the spot that I'm heading to.
So wait, how do you with the mouse? Because I have it
Hold C.
highlighted right now.
Yeah, just hold C. Oh, unhighlight anything you
Oh,
got highlighted. Um, but hold
okay.
C and scroll the mouse wheel in or out.
Okay.
You'll
All
see a
right.
major difference. Now, that comes in handy between when you're working on big objects or when you're putting fucking clothes on a shelf. You'll want to be able to move a lot slower.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're trying to see something, if you're having a hard time, if wherever you're putting what down is too bright, go up here to Editor, and under Environment, there's a setting for the time. And if you just click anywhere on that, it'll change it from daytime to whatever time of day that is. Give it a few seconds for the eyes in the game to acclimate, and you can really see. Like, I changed my highlight colors. I made them red so they really stand out against almost anything, because there are very few red things naturally on the map. That makes it easier for me to see these boxes.
Okay.
Another thing, while we're in the Preferences and Editor, if you click on Preferences, down here at the bottom, there is a Show Boundaries box option. Uncheck that. That will slow down how the software moves, because it will try to determine. I'm sure you've seen those little yellow lines. You don't actually need those yellow lines unless you're doing something like putting in objects that a player can pick up, because those
Yeah.
items have that yellow boundary box stretched out a little bit so that the player can reach it. It basically shows the frame of how close they have to stand near something in order for it to pop up in their vicinity
Okay.
options. So that's the only time you really need to use that. Other than that, it slows it down like a lot. Like if you highlight a whole bunch of objects at the same time and move them together, because that thing is highlighted, it'll make it super slow. So if you uncheck that and only
Mm-hmm.
use it when you need it, that'll double the amount of time to do stuff, or cut it
Okay.
in half. Okay, and the basic movements we'll start with mouse controls. So if you grab any given item and then just hold and pull, it'll slide it wherever you want. If you
Yeah.
hold shift while you do that same thing, instead it will rotate it. That's the
Okay.
mouse, a way to rotate it with the mouse. Now there's a manual way to do it. If you hold control and go left and right, it'll go clockwise and counterclockwise in an exact spot instead of like the other way. If you hold
Oh,
control alt
okay.
and left and right, it does it slowly. Alt is your fine tune on almost anything. So up, down,
Gotcha.
left, and right controls north, east, south, and west, and then page up and page down does your depth. Holding Alt to any of those will let you fine tune it exactly where you want. You can follow the lines. Um, let's see. Now, be careful not to, when you're moving objects up and down, to accidentally hit Control. Control up and down will change the size of an object rather than turn it. Like if I was to hold Alt up and down, it would just slowly move it up or down. I'll hold Control, page up and page down. It changes the size of the object. You can
Okay.
double click on any given object, pull up its properties. If you see that it accidentally moved on a double clicking, you can pop out and hit undo, move it back, and highlight it here, and then right click over here for properties to keep the object from moving. And then the bottom set
Okay.
of coordinates is the direction that the object faces in the world. So like it's the object's rotation. The top set of numbers is the numbers of exactly where it is in the map. So these are its coordinates. And then scale is the size of the object. Okay. Let's see. After let's see what else. Here we go. Collision mode. So if I have, say, I'll grab a piece of sidewalk.
Oh, I think my editor just crashed.
Oh, yeah, that does happen. That's what AJ was talking about earlier. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's still
No,
so
but that's
new.
because I was doing something stupid.
Yeah, it's well,
I was.
Go ahead.
Oh, yep. It's not responding.
Oh, wait, no.
I'm walking through your thing though.
If it just says that it froze, just give it a second. Yeah. If it just froze and went white for a minute, that's why I have mine like this, because I can see when it tops out, when it starts freezing and stuff. And in most cases, as long as it's just white and it says not responding or whatever, just give it a moment. It'll usually find its way through. You'll know when it crashed because it'll completely disappear, and you'll get an error report from this set of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I already clicked close, so I didn't.
Yeah, that's why I run it like this. To change it to like
But
this and make it
I had to wait.
windowed instead,
Next time I
do
know.
it. Yeah. Back at the beginning menu, if you go to your options there and make it windowed instead of full screen, you'll be able to see this white bar at the top and know when it's just frozen versus when it's crashed.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna stick this here. Little. Okay. Now let's say I want to put this object on that one. This right here is collision mode. So if you highlight that, then it will stack an object on the top of another object.
Okay.
Bro, fuck's sake. My
When it's,
mic's been muted this entire time.
I was wondering.
My bad. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I've
You're
been
good.
talking to you, asking you stuff, and fucking the
Oh,
entire
my bad.
time I muted my mic.
Ooh, my stuff's topping out. I can't hear. One more time. I heard you
I
wanted to
was
ask a
talking to
question?
you. I was asking a bunch of questions, bro, and fucking looked at my mic, and there's a big red light on my mic. I'm like, oh, bro. I was wondering why you weren't responding.
Yeah, I didn't know shit. Oh,
Yeah, I'm trying to teach myself how to put stuff on shelves, and I couldn't
shelves are
remember
a
how
little
to
more
rotate the
shelves are a
items.
little more difficult. So like for a shelf, you'll want to put something at the bottom of it, so have it stick to the floor, and then
And then
manually
raise it.
slide it under. Yeah,
Yeah, I figured that out.
yeah.
I figured that out. I couldn't remember how to rotate, and I was like, bro, and I was asking you, and there was no response. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck. And then I realized
Control
then
left
that
and right. Yeah. Control left and right rotates, or shift, grab the object, rotate. Now the
if you
shift
can,
and grabbing the object and rotating is what you want to do. Like say if you've put a little tiny castle together or something, right? You just got four walls and a floor, and you highlight all of them, hold shift and grab it, that whole thing to rotate it like that. Because if you, in that instance, highlighted the whole castle and tried to hit control and then right, it's going to rotate them, but it's going to rotate them to where they're all in that fixed position. Like they will stay locked in their north, south, east, and west positions, and it'll just rotate in which order they're in. It'll get it all funky and shit. So, and when you're highlighting a bunch of stuff and you're trying to rotate all of them as a solid piece, you would hold shift. But if you're just doing independent objects or independent items, you can hold control and get them to your liking. Um, Certain cases, you'll start to get used to using things in degrees. So like anything between 0 and 180, and then it goes like negative 180 down to negative 0. Those are your basic rotations for all 3D objects and shit. And in a lot of cases, it's just shorter to know, you know, 180, 90, 45, stuff like that for your basic rotations in given direction.
I just posted something in the Discord in this Gen Voice chat. If you want to have a look, I don't know if I think I'm doing it right, but it looks kind of cool, good to me. But yeah, I realized because when you pick an item, if you try to put it on the floor and then, yeah, like I found that if I had to put them underneath the shelf, whichever shelf you want to put it on, and then
And then raise it up.
page up,
Yeah.
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 Because I was trying to figure it out the other day, and I also just realized as well when you said about using control to spin items. If you hold Alt at the same time, it slows down the spin,
Slows it
so you have
down.
more
Yeah. Well,
control over it.
Yeah, Alt is your fine tune for anything. Any movement you can do, holding Alt will slow it down so that you can really fine tune it. And the reason that that's important in that is this picture go away. Just go away. Oh shit.
I also just learned something from your settings as well. When you was pulled up your settings, I changed my save time and stuff because mine was all on default, and and now I've changed the save time. It's updating the save constantly.
Yeah, I do mine about on a 3-minute frequency, every 3 minutes. Which even though it's a little ding and it's slightly annoying, I would much rather slightly annoying and save my work than
Yeah.
5 minutes can be an eternity worth of shit in editor. Yeah, check this message right quick. Major Rage. We'll talk with Ronan. Yeah, y'all do that. These guys are still trying to hire me, and I've already given them X amount of help for free. I don't mind helping people, but don't tell me you're gonna pay me and then never pop up. Like, just don't bother telling me that a line to me. Just skip the whole line to my part. I'm not asking anybody for anything.
That's the thing, though. See, people that shit, I changed the health on this item. Huh?
Shady.
How did I do this?
Double click and go back into the properties and turn the health off.
Health.
Okay, where was I? Oh, stacking items. Okay, yeah. So this collision mode, the snapping stuff, I don't so much know too well, but the magnet mode will take a given item and it'll make it match the slant of the terrain as well as let's see, I think if I turn on both magnetism and collision at the same time, I do believe, oh, it's not sticking to the second one.
So how do I move an object to the ground if it's like in the air?
Unclick collision mode, make sure it's white, and
Mm-hmm.
then grab the object in the square, just hold it, place it down on the ground.
Oh, okay.
If it still levitates a little, which most items, as far as like player items, will, they're gonna pop up like that anyway, and you can just hit down page. Oh, something else I just learned the other day that I wished I'd have known sooner. And you hit escape, and it shows the default keybinds on everything right there. You can go to the options, and then go to controls, and then configure keybinds. This will show you all of the keybinds. And if you,
Okay.
yeah, so it's the ones that you can't ever seem to find or whatever, they'll be in here, and they have all of them from the character, camera, combat, vehicle, gestures, other unsorted. At any given place, to take a picture on your PC, if you hold Windows Shift S, this thing here will pop up. Your screen will go kind of dark, and then you'll be able to highlight an area.
Okay.
Once you highlight that
All
area,
right.
you'll see a little notification pop up. You can save that image. So if you say, for example, go back to the default keybinds, just
So
make yourself a
zeroing
copy.
up and down is just
Gotcha. You me?
bringing the
Say that.
object up and down.
Okay. How do I?
I'm sorry, one more time. My shit got funky for a second.
I'm trying to put an axe on the table, and I can get it to go horizontal, but I can't get it to twist the other way.
Double click on it and go into the properties.
So I've raised it like that. Okay, so if I go...
Yeah, just go into its properties, and you can rotate it in any of the 6 axes. Or 3 axes, whatever. I don't know how to say that shit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So now I can't see anything on my screen. Oh, what the heck? Like none of the
Hit escape.
side things are on the screen.
Hit Y.
Escape's not working.
Okay, try Y.
Why? Oh, okay.
Okay, Y puts you in a view so you see it like the game does, and it removes all those little
Okay.
boxes and shit. Hitting it a second
Yeah.
time brings all your lists and shit back. So if you ever want to, I think the last thing is the player testing. So if you can see your mouse, point at a spot and click T. T teleports your player, and then at home, for some reason, the first time you do it, you won't see the character. But if you hit home, it takes you into the character's view. Hit B to see in third person.
Oh.
Hit home again, it'll bring
Okay.
you out of that, and you can see the character now for some reason. I don't know why it does that on the first one. You can't see him, but now if you point at a spot and click T, you can see the character move. So, say for example, I use it not
Okay.
just to test things, but sometimes if I'm trying to figure out the size of a doorway, or if I want to scale an object up and I'm trying not to make it look too ridiculous from the player's perspective, I'll put the player next to it and find the sweet spot of what's big but not ridiculous, or what's small but not too small. Um,
What is the Gunter called in this?
I do believe it's the Gunter.
Or like any of the cars?
Or no, wait.
I
The
think
Gunter would be the
I think
hatchback.
hatchbacks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
JTCH. Let's see. Go for off-road hatchback blue. Ooh, yep, off-road hatchback.
Oh. Off. Oh.
Now, problem is, you're going to have to fully put it together. So you'll have to set all of the pieces that you need for it too. It'll be all 4 tires, radiator, battery, spark plug, and gas. Plus a water pump to get you some more water. And then you're also going to want to right-click on the vehicle itself, scroll down, and there'll be a spot that says Enable Simulation. You want to turn that on for the object in order to be able to interact with it. I'm about to, you were already put on the dev team, right? Okay, so I'll be adding some files in possibly later today, maybe tomorrow. I made a number set and an alphabet set and a symbol set, a basic symbol set I can make so people make signs. I'm going to put out that DZE, and I've got another one that I've been working on where the cars are already assembled. Now, you can't put cars in a JSON file. Otherwise, every time the server restarts, the vehicle will go back to where it initially was. So in most cases, we don't use vehicles in JSON file for customs and shit. But it is good to have them already put together and pre-assembled in the editor. Know that if the things that you've built, ramps, races, anything that's got to do with any kind of gate that needs to be tested for size, it is a good idea to have a set of these ready to load in. Let's see, also importing and exporting. So when you first start your stuff, you can usually, if you've only do 2 or 3 projects, the open recent will show you your top 3, which ones you opened last. If you go to open, it'll go back to the folder that I showed you about here. Import and export, you have to be specific on what file you're chasing out. So if I'm doing a DZE, if I'm doing one of the white ones, it's import type of thing as a DZE. Then only the DZEs will show up in that list. Importing will allow you to bring something in without it affecting the project if you don't want it to, or saving the other thing. If you try to bring 2 projects together by opening them, it's just going to override one with the other. But you can import a whole other project and bring a whole other set of something in, and then tear it apart. Only use certain pieces, throw the rest of it away, delete the rest of it, and just keep the parts that you want to reuse by doing that. You can merge files like that. You can separate files like that. Exporting, when you're finally done with the project, the very last thing you do, go to export, and then you go to export as a JSON. If you export it as a JSON, it's ready. Whatever you name it from that point, it's ready to be put in the game. It's ready to be put in the server.
Okay.
Can you
Any
go
other?
back a little bit, Adam? Sorry. You know,
Sure.
saving the saving part and I hear the exporting part, but the saving part.
Okay.
I know it
When
automatically
you're
saves. How do you save
yeah,
as, right? And then
yeah. Well, save as if you want to do it as another project. You can just once you've already saved it the first time and the file has a name that it's clicking to, when that green thing
it'll
pops,
automatic.
it's saving already. So if you want to save it whenever you
Mm-hmm.
want to, you can actually just click on that disk too. Once you've saved it at least once and it
Okay.
knows what file it's operating out of, that little disk right there, just click it, it'll automatically save. And then
And then when you're done, it's export to JSON.
yes, yeah, when you're fully done, go to File, go to Export, and send to JSON. That's when it's ready to be put
Okay.
in the Trello. Now, in most instances, at least for our server, anything handed to me, I'm like to be put in to even be taken into consideration. I need to see it as the DZE, so I see exactly what the sizes are supposed to be, and the way it actually affects the map. Because I'm not gonna.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen too many server owners just slap in whatever, and there are a set of limitations for file size what the servers can handle without getting too fucked up. Which we're already, the server's already on the border of that in certain places.
Okay. Bruh, what the fuck? How do I
Now this
spin
right-handed
this?
list, how do you spin what? You have to tell me what it is. Can't look at your screen.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt what you were talking. I just sent it on the Discord thing. Just finish what you were saying, and then we can get back to mine. It's not important.
Oh, it's too late. I already forgot what I was talking about. Oh, you talking about the axe? You talking about how to flatten
Yeah,
it out?
yeah, like it's
Okay. While
facing
while it's highlighted
vertical.
blue, right click on it,
Mm-hmm.
either the little checkbox or the item in this list. Right click on one of those, pull up the properties. From the properties, the bottom set of numbers in those colors. If you click in that box and then roll your mouse wheel while the mouse is in that box, it will rotate said object whatever angle you want. So
Yeah, I got that, but it's not bringing it so that it lies flat. It's just twisting and turning it and like
change
changing
one
the
of the other
angles. I can't
numbers.
get it to lay flat.
Look, yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. Try the green one. The green one, I do believe, controls, yeah, the side to side access of it. Yeah, each one of these three. So the red one will do the clockwise rotation. The Y will do, I don't know how to explain that one other than
No, I understand that. I've tried every single one and I can't get it to like I did the top one. I did it and it worked fine, but this one I can't get it. I don't know how I got the top X to like sit flush, and I can't get the
Oh,
second one to.
okay, I'm gonna
Perhaps
have to
it's the
look and see.
way I spawned it in. I don't know.
Let's see. Okay. Show me the properties of it again. I'm watching you now.
Okay, so if I
Nope,
roll
not
it this
not
way, it
not
goes.
not the red one. Not the red one. The green one. Yep,
See, this
that one.
one goes this way,
Okay, do the blue one.
and the blue one just turns it that way. I don't understand why it won't lie
Then
flat like the top one.
you've got to do it. You've got to flip it funny. So tell you what, delete that one.
Yeah, I'll
Close the
spawn another one.
properties. Delete that one. Go to the one that you placed up top.
Yeah. Oh,
No,
I
you're
know what
fine.
you're
Yeah,
gonna say.
just Control
Copy
J.
and paste.
No.
Oh,
Control
Control
J.
J.
Uh-huh. And then just hit down page after you've hit Control J. The new one that it's going to
Bruh,
give you. Boom. There you go.
bruh.
Now look. All right.
So
Phase it
Control
back up a little
J.
bit. But now, because that'll cause an exact duplicate where it is. If you were to have hit Control Paste, you would have needed to click on a different spot and then hit Control V in order to get it to do
I
that.
got
Now,
you.
now,
I got you.
while
So
while you
Control
got
J.
that, if you ever have a case like that that pops up again, what you do is the original one, the first one that you had turned right, open up the properties on it, take a look at those numbers and the rotation that you're using, then apply that to the next one. because that'll come in handy when it comes to, like, say it's the difference between an axe and a knife, but you still need them both at the same rotations. They still act the same way. Because I don't know why, but certain items do. Once you flip them in certain directions, that green number and the blue number will swap. So some of them mean up and down, and others mean left and right. So I don't know why it does that, but it is something that happens.
So these look decent, right? Like,
yeah,
these items on you, they're not too bad. I couldn't. So that's mad. So Control J. If I do that again, Control J, and then
there you go.
that's so much easier.
But remember, like, you're using those boundary boxes too. So if ever you take, say for example, you want to move that entire building and you have to highlight the whole area, remember to cut those boundary boxes off. There you go. You won't be able to see those lines anymore, but you can still see the object. Figure out how they piece together. All right, I'll pop out of your
What is the
screen.
gas canister or like the jerry can called? Oh, never mind. I just found it. Never mind.
There is a
this
set of
out.
shortcuts I'll be putting in to the dev chat later, because I've got Wikipedia lists of all the item names for everything. So it makes it easier to be able to search in that bar for whatever you want. I don't know why that object does that, AJ. It just does.
You saw that, right?
The vehicle is the only one that gets all bobbly like that. Every other item, touch anything, they'll it was placed in. But the vehicles, for some reason, a bobble around and shit. Yeah, I gotta pop off of your screen. It's pulling the shit out of my resources. Okay, this back down, put this back. And sometimes when you leave
I'm starting to
certain
get a
screens,
hang of this.
yeah, it's pretty easy once it's just getting your hands to remember the controls and remembering your hotkeys.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I think I fucked up. I did. I fucked up.
So what happens if you die in this? Like if I'm driving
Nothing.
a car, like
Nothing.
You can't die.
You can't
oh,
die.
you don't die. Okay.
No, it's God mode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll
Sweet.
bleed and stuff, but that's it. It'll never run out of blood.
It's like if I crash a car at like 200 kilometers, it
Oh
won't.
yeah.
No, I made a ramp the other day, and I was driving off the fucking ramp, and my car would fuck up, but I wouldn't. Like the car would just roll, and I couldn't do nothing, but I was still fine.
All right. Anyway, I'm gonna close.
Yeah, I made a
this
massive ramp
tab.
out of Musk on the airport. On the airstrip, I made a massive ramp, and I was flying off it doing like 120 mile an hour, just to see what would happen.
I think
I even put. I made a ramp, and I put.
Go ahead.
What was that other software that you were talking about before?
Well, for doing events, vehicle spawns, NPCs, anything of that nature, you can get Note plus plus. It's or Notepad plus plus. It's free, and it's a way to work on XML. So, have you ever seen what the Nitrado server stuff looks like? Like it'd be like a black and white list. It's all in code and shit. Using Note plus plus puts things in like color categories so you can see what those things mean. And when something gets broken or a mistake gets made, it's highlighted and it shows you, rather than you having to. People that edit inside of Nitrado tend to make a lot of mistakes because they can't see what they're doing wrong. But Note plus plus is specifically designed for XML so that when a mistake is made, you can see what code takes effect and what doesn't. Let's see. I can give you an
Okay.
example right here, I believe. I've got it right here on my desktop. It doesn't take up very much to use. Handy tool to download, and you can Google for this, but this little thing that I've got sitting on my desktop right here is a compass that just has the numbers for the compass that go around. In certain items, when you're putting them in DayZ Editor, both XML and DayZ Editor use on the A axis. It stands for the direction that it's facing. So in events and stuff like that, you can't see what they look like in the editor. And anytime there's an A, that A in the positioning stands for the numbers on a compass. That's how you control the direction that something is facing. In most
Okay.
cases, the only thing events need to take place is it has to be on raw ground. Like it has to be able to touch the ground. If there's anything else in the way, like a road that you put in or a building that you put in, it won't spawn it because it'll detect that there's something in its way of being spawned. So it has to have open grass to be able to, or natural terrain to be able to stick to. Let's see, what have I got here? These are my vehicle snippets. Normally it looks like, I believe it'll look like this. Oh, oh, no, 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 no. There we go. All right, so this is what the code normally looks like. This is the one for my events folder of the events file that we're currently using. So like, if I click on event right here, just that one, this will highlight and turn purple, and this will highlight and turn purple. And what it's showing me is that this right here is one complete event. This controls everything on this thing's name. And events
Okay.
tied to two different places. Now, this is a whole other monster we're getting into. I'm just showing this as an example real quick. But you'll probably want to start with editor. Editor's a way easier to work with than this. And this is a whole other beast because it starts getting into multiple files working together. And this kind of shows and explains how they all work together. So we'll tackle that one on another day.
Here's a slug grenade M4.
There are a great many items in the editor that are not in the game. And picking them up, like some of the ones I used in the tank, will get stuck in your hands. Now there used to be a way to get it out, but they stopped it along with the servers. Honestly, I've been watching the files the past month. The servers are getting ready to change in a massive way. They're about to make it to where bots from say Discord and shit, you can not only control where individual players spawn, but individual groups and factions spawn. And they're custom geared per each set. So you can spawn in a space that's specific to your team in gear that's specific to your team uh, and individual players. Uh, and I've seen Nitrato's been changing the file system and changing the names of certain things. They added like 12 files in, they slipped them in and didn't really say anything to anybody. And I've been kind of reverse engineering them using Chat GPT to figure out what they're doing and why they would be doing it. Because right now it's just a bunch of logs, and the logs are exactly how the Discord bots operate and control things. That's how they read the radar, know where what's happening, and all the player trackers and alarms, base alarms, all of that stuff. It's all controlled through those logs. So if they're changing the log system and making it more detailed, that means there's another change coming up, something more detailed, and they're prepping the groundwork for it right now. All right. So on any given project, when you're working on it, you'll open or whatever, of course. But when you're done, or you want to switch projects, instead of exiting and going back to the main screen, you can just hit close, and closing it will get rid of your current project. So it'll wipe everything that's in front of you. To bring it back, you can just open the same one again, or you can open a different one. I'm gonna open a different one. I'm gonna show AJ what I'm working on for our base. Yeah. And this one's only got a few things in it, and it's relatively small, but
How did you do that again? Sorry. Sorry. How did you open a separate product? I was
when you're closing one, like say if I'm done with this one, you can just go to
concentrating on.
File. Oh my bad, my
You
stuff
said
keeps
instead
getting
of
choppy.
yeah.
Can you hear me now? Damn, my stuff keeps getting choppy, dude. My poor little system. Look at her, I'm topped out. Um, you can when you're done working on a project, you can go to File and hit Close, and that'll close the current project that you're working on. Right? It'll get rid of all that stuff. It'll go, are you sure? You say yes, and it'll wipe everything. Then you can go back to open a new one or open a recent, whichever you want to do. I'm gonna bring back just had. It'll bring all your stuff back in. So this is give you a little tour of what I took that file that Flair made the other day and I made some tweaks to it, and then I repositioned it down here with our shit. And this is what I've got on our base so far, AJ. I don't know if you can see me on the street, Steam, not AJ. I mean, not Steam, fucking Twitch or YouTube or whatever you want.
You're cutting out like hell, bro, to be honest.
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, I see what.
You see it on Twitch or whatever. This is what I got so far.
Yeah.
So here's what I did.
I've been trying to
with
find that
stuff.
location on the map.
Oh, Blackwater. It's have Y, go M. It's right up here,
Oh yeah.
right next to this little airport. Back to Y.
Okay.
He had a tinier shack than this. The one that he passed to us the other day was a lot smaller than this. So I blew that shack up and made it pretty big. I was hoping to get it big enough to stick a car into, but I wasn't able to get it that big. But I added some shelves. He had a blue shelf in there with nothing in it, so I stuck 3 chests, 3 wooden crates, and a chest in there, along with his barrel. And that's really basically all I did. I did that, and I stuck the fire helmet on it. I didn't make a lot of changes. I changed the size on this, made it a lot bigger, but that's really all I did. I did pull in my door frame and measure this to make sure it would be the size of a regular gate if you want to lock it up, and it is. And the helmet, it looks funny,
And that helmet will give you cover from the weather.
from the weather. That's right. Yeah, and then this one was the type that I
That's
was putting together. And this one, the sizes have changed, and I've done some funny stuff inside. Like I said, this is what I got so far. But you have to come through the tunnel line because you can't see it from here, but there are walls, the sidewalk pieces, and turn them sideways
bro, that's cool.
so that from the inside,
So you can.
you can't tell.
Wait, so how do you like import it into
Sorry, my stuff
your
choppy.
server?
One more time, my stuff got choppy.
Like if you're importing like what you just did into your server,
Okay.
like how would you do that? Like through a file or
kind of a little both. So you would first export it as a JSON, and then from the DayZ editor thing that you've got, you would open up your Nitrado.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it through this. So that's the only one that I've got controls. Turn down for limiters. Give me a second to open this up, but you would do 2 things. You would, one, go to Nitrado, and there's a folder called custom. You would take a copy of that file and you would drop it into the custom so that it would upload there. Then you would go back to the original file that's got all the control files in it. You can't miss it. It's a big ass list. And you'll find the file called CFG configuration or CFG player. Or maybe it's settings, I can't remember. It'll be so I think I'm using Opera right now because Opera's got fucking CPU and GPU features and shit. Keep me from getting too staticky. Alright, yeah. And so this is what the Nitrado naturally looks like. To drop that file in, you would open up custom and upload the file that you just made. And then you would go down here to CFG gameplay. And open it in a new window, a new tab.
Okay.
The reason that I open it in a new tab is just so I can keep an eye on both. But in this new tab, you're going to scroll into the custom locations that you're adding in. And you have to put a code in here or a line of code in here that tells it to reference to that.
If I may ask, How much do you pay for a server on Nitrado
What we run right
usually?
now is costing about $50 a month, and it's about a $7 bot with I think it's like $46 a month to run what we run.
Mm-hmm.
But you can pay for it by the slot, the lower the slot number, which I think the minimum is 10, I think.
Right.
And then you can rent it by the month. Now, once you've rented the first month, you can pay by the day if you want to, um, unless it expires.
Mm-hmm. Right, right.
There we go. Now this will bring
Is
up the XM.
Nitrado like the
It's the only one. Yeah,
is
unfortunately,
Nitrado like the most trusted one?
it's
Okay.
the only one for DayZ.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, it kind of sucks in that regard because some of the others are better. Um, I've used those for Conan and Arc and stuff like that, and I did like those better. So it took me all the way back. This folder right here, I gotta head back to the filing system, but this DayZ PS, that's one of the new files they slid in April the 5th. They slid that fucker in and didn't
Mm-hmm.
say shit to nobody.
And
That's the one that's
that
putting
lags
out
a
all
bunch
those
of
new.
stuff.
No, it doesn't lag anything. This is the new file that they put in, that Nitrado put in. This is the new one that's putting out all those super detailed logs. It doesn't hurt anything. It doesn't. It's just a set of reports and stuff that come out, just like the
Oh,
event
okay.
log or the report log. But it's how the bots from Discord control everything and read everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that I'm back here, give me CFG gameplay. There we go. This is what XML code looks
Just
like.
gonna.
See, now the difference between
Oh,
here, this is the same kind of stuff that we were looking at in Note++ a minute ago, but here it's not color coordinated. So here, if you make a mistake, it's not going to say anything. It's not going to tell you anything, which is why up here in my
right.
tabs, I've got an XML validator to make sure any code I make, I stick in that validator first and I make sure it's right before I implement it here. I tell people not to
Okay.
do this, but I do it all the fucking time. This right here, this object spawner array, this is where the call names are for the file that we just put in. So if we wanted
Oh,
to add that in, what you would do is, and you'll notice I've got some trick ones in here, like right here. This right here that says copy this one, that is not a real file. That's something that I made and stuck in there. So I know whenever I need to make one, all I have to do is copy this whole thing, right? And Control
mm-hmm.
C. Once I've copied it, go here, hit enter, and then hit Control V, and it gives me a brand new one. And then what I'll do is between this slash and that dot, you change this name to match the same name as the file that you just put in, right? So that's why like
Mm-hmm.
all these are in like People's Bases, Traders, uh, Abby's gas station. What's that gas station that we've got? You put the file name in there, and then after you save, which is way fuck down here, once you save it and restart the server, it'll read that file and take it into effect and put it in the server.
Okay.
But you have to make sure you
Okay.
save this and you have to make sure you restart the server. It won't take effect until you restart.
Got
But
you.
I'm not going to save any of that change. Just leave out of there.
So all the code, you don't have to type that in, right? That's already just put into where DayZ Editor was.
Well, DayZ Editor won't house any code like this. Like you can open those things like that. Like say if you're trying to get names for a bot or something like that. But these JSONs, they're a little different. Let's see what they look like in plus plus. In most cases, it's going to look crazy because all it really remembers is the object and the positioning and the scale.
Right.
And it's the only three things it remembers. I don't even know what file did I just use. Oh, this is a caption. I haven't even looked at this file yet, to be honest. I downloaded this the other day. There's a bunch of different Discords and there's a bunch of different web pages and YouTube creators and shit that they put up some of their builds for free. A lot of them are old and a lot of them are hot garbage, but there are a couple of good ones out there. G Code on Discord, Valshads on Discord, and Abby's are my top 3 for content creation. But yeah, the editor in here doesn't look right. It's hard to really distinguish, and it's crazy fucking long. Let's see
Right.
how many. It's 4,167 lines. What's that? Yeah, we'll get into this monster on another one next time. But that's all it takes. That's the only part you have to mess with in order to get it into the server, though, is just dropping it into the customs folder and adding the call name into this. Now, as far as Nitrado is concerned, these files all automatically pop in. You just reopen them. The way I do mine when it comes to any kind of XML work is before I touch it, I download it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, be right back.
So, okay.
All right, I'm back. My bad.
You're good.
What was forgot what I was talking about. Oh, anytime I'm doing my XML work at all, what I'll do is I'll download the files that I'm gonna need to adjust, and then I'll put them in a folder marked with the date. So, let's see, I keep mine right here. So there's no Bad DayZ server, and then these backups and updates. This is all my XML work, and I'll just put a folder with the date. I think this one, yeah, I don't even think I did anything for this one. I didn't. I just made it so that it'd be ready for the next time I did. So after I download the ones I need, I'll make a folder, one folder called backup and another called update in the same date. I'll take the copies of the ones that I just had, I'll drop them into the backup, copy them a second time, and move them into update. Then once I've placed them in the update, these are the ones I adjust. This ensures
Mm-hmm.
that no matter what happens, if I make a mistake, if I fuck something up, I can always go right back to the way it just was. So I can at least unfuck the situation. This allows me
Right.
to back and forth it and make sure I always have a backup. And it also keeps in good rotation all my latest code. So if ever I have to, because like soon, like real soon, I'm gonna have to go back through and adjust some shit. Because okay, you saw the CFG gameplay file a minute ago. Here in my customs, I also do something else that's unique that I've only ever seen one other person do this, and it's where I got the idea from. With some of these files at the end of them, instead of just JSON, they say JSON off. See, because I changed the name of the .json part, really any of it, because I changed the name, that CFG gameplay
Mm-hmm.
file can't call this in. So it works like a toggle switch. If I the reason I use the word off is so I know that I've got it turned off. But if it's like that, it's normal. So
Okay.
it's calling in this file. It's trying to call this one in, but because I changed the call name, it just gives an error and it doesn't pull it in. It doesn't hurt anything. But this allows me to toggle something in fast or toggle it off fast. So like say for example, we had trolls hit the trader. If I went in here and I grabbed the trader frame and just turned it off and changed the file name to off and then restart the server, when the server came back, there would be no floor to stand on. There would be nothing but like
Right.
5 floating buildings and everybody that was
Yeah.
standing there would just drop to the ground. And
Okay.
then to toggle it back, I just take the word off of it and just .json and it would go right back to working like normal.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, you were saying about the Control J,
Uh-huh.
Dave.
Yep.
So say like like with Trader, and say like you wanted multiple items, but obviously you don't want them in multiple places. You just Control J a few times then.
Yep.
So there's
If
just
you
multiple in one spot.
right. Now, if you want to take into account when you're building that how long the restart time on your server is. The longer the restart time, the more of them you may need. But if it's like ours and it's only like a 2-hour restart time, you can keep it a relatively small number. The smaller the file is, the better it will run. So,
I got you.
and things like that's kind of why I do that thing where I change the size of stuff all the time. Like our trader right now and that big grandiose shit, it's not actually taking up that much. It's actually taken less. Had I built those things in its natural sizes, it would have taken up more space on the file than what it does to just because it only picks up the one with a size change rather than picking up 5 that it takes to make a floor. You know, it's less objects for it to have to read, making it smoother. There's a weight limit on each file. You really don't want each file to exceed 500 kilobytes. You don't want it to exceed 500 kilobytes. Anything past that, and it'll start slowing it down. So let's see. I'll show you one right here somewhere. Fuck, there they are. So
Okay, I'm gonna hop back on PlayStation for a bit, and then because my buddies are just waiting. So
no
I'll talk to you guys later.
all right,
Catch you later, bro.
All right. Thanks for showing me how to use this.
No problem.
Thanks. Peace.
The last dude that I taught how to do this was Spectre. That cat paid me $70. Not from his money, but he I did it. He got me $70. He got somebody else. I think he got Catnip to pay for it.
Yeah.
That was how I set my guidelines though for when I was gonna get paid for teaching. And I decided I'm not.
Bro, I'm a bit fucking 50-50 on that dude, to be 100% honest with you.
Oh, that cat, yeah, it sounds like he's prepping for his own service. But it sounds
prepping for someone else, yeah, that's what I at the end do.
It's fine. I don't care. Let them. What they do with what I teach them is a show of their character, not mine. And I'm not gonna let it stop me from being me. You know, they could just as easily have, if they wanted to see if it worked, could just as easily ask me, hey, I got this thing. Can I see what it looks like in the thing? So long as you hand me the DZE and I can take a look at what it, make sure it's not going to interfere with nothing else and is okay putting in the server, I would have no problem doing that for people. I would actually, I don't see it being more than like me charging like $5. If you wanted to build something on your own, stick it in the game, so long as I can double check it, send it as the DZE. I'll double check it and put it in the world for like $5.
Well, I'm kind of. All I really need to make sure now is that this actually saves. When you get 2 seconds, I know you're struggling on your PC, but I kind of just want you to see like what you think. Obviously, this is just a basic bullshit. I'm just trying to mostly learn how to put stuff on shelves and stuff. But when you get a chance to look at my screen, just tell me, have I done anything wrong here, or would this even work if it was potential? And obviously it's just a fucking fire station with a bunch of random shit. But I just want to know if this is actually, would it be usable if I wanted to use it? That's all I want to know. Or have I, because I don't know what I was doing wrong before where it kept crashing and shit. So I'm just curious to whether I fucked this up or.
Let's see if I can bring it up a little. There we go. No, it looks fine. It looks like everything should work. Do you want it in the ground like that though?
No, I put the buildings on a slant. So basically, I raised it up a little. I could have raised it more, but I was expecting it to crash by now, if I'm being 100% honest. But for some reason, it hasn't crashed. So it was just like, I just wanted to practice putting. Oh, that's fucked. And what happened there? That one canteen has gone up in the air.
Yep, it just slid a little. That's all. It's not a big deal.
So everything in your Yeah, everything in here should work. I've got these. I've actually managed to get stuff on shelves which I couldn't do before.
Like the car will be the only object that won't work right. When it spawns in, it's going to spawn in. Even if when you send it to Nitrado, it'll put them back in their original positioning and shit without the doors, without the hood, without all the parts will be stripped off of it when it comes in the JSON file. And
so how
because
would
the vehicles
you
don't work on that anyway. To get vehicles, you have to do vehicles and NPCs through the events, which is the Note++ stuff.
I got you. So
Is
that's
that the kind of
in the
vehicle
actual
that's
code.
Is that one? Yeah, it's in the actual code. Or is that just a test thing?
Okay. It's just a test thing. I just fucking around trying to learn how to place stuff. That's all. Huh? Why did that disappear? Okay.
Hit undo. Hit undo. Hit undo. Or never mind.
Okay, so the easy way to solve this is just go delete and then click on that one. And then just do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, right. So say now, for argument's sake, I wanted to keep it. So you want about the vehicles? There's no point making vehicles in editor. Then they have to go through the code. Okay, I got you.
And the only thing that it is handy for is for parts. If you're making like a gas station or you want to have backup parts or some shit to switch in and out, the parts are handy, but not the vehicles themselves.
So the only time you'd put a vehicle in if it was like for decoration for like a wrecked vehicle, because you can pick wrecked vehicles and just, or you could spawn in a vehicle to test something for argument's sake.
Now there used to be a way that it did work, but they took it out. There used to be a way that you could place them in like you just did, but then when you got finished, when you exported the JSON, you would then use Note++ to go back into the JSON. You would search for that vehicle name, and when you found it, there would be a section in there that says, what was the persistence. You would change its persistency. If it said false, you changed it to true. If it said 0, you changed it to 1. The true and false values will either be the whole word or a 0 or a 1. And you would change that value in order to make it persistent, which would make it to where the vehicle would spawn in. It would be naked, but you could put it together and drive it away. Upon server restart, when the persistence is on, it would stay. But something happened about 2, maybe 3 updates back, and that no longer works. I've tested that several times on my own in separate files. Could not get it to work. Because I thought it would be great if I could, and then you made them emergency vehicles. To where you put them on, like, say, police stations or something like that, to where it was just an emergency response vehicle. And there would always be one there ready for whatever team needed to launch out. That'd be ideal for RP servers and stuff. In fact, I did make one that did work in an RP server. And I used the Hummer as my example because the ones that come in the JSON files, those are how you tell. Those are the only ones from a JSON. They spawn in with no hood. I'm sure you've seen in the mechanic shop, there's a hood sitting out there. But if you actually look at the Hummer, you can't take a hood on or take it off or put it on. You can't do either. So that one left. I left that one in the PD that I used just so people would know that a hoodless Hummer was a response vehicle and nobody would fuck with them. But I'll be doing overhauls for all that shit. I've got an idea for a change up on the gas station the same way I've got the pumps and shit that line up. I'm gonna put some extra concrete walls behind those so that you pull through them in like a tunnel style. Each tunnel will be a different vehicle for all 6 vehicles. That'll have all the parts and pieces on the walls, and you'll be able to, you can get your gas or get whatever you got to get, but you can also make whatever kind of swap out your vehicle parts for whatever other kind of vehicle parts you want. The only thing you would have to like pick from the start would be the color of the frame.
Yeah, it's crazy how that bonfire lights this entire building.
Yes, and if let me go back to your screen. Hit home and go back to the regular screen and click on the bonfire. Highlight the bonfire. Okay, now pull up the properties for the bonfire. Now see where the scale is? You can scale it down and make it disappear. The wood will disappear, but the flame will stay.
Really?
Yeah, and
How'd you do
yeah,
that? Where would
see
scale
scale.
this?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, if you just take it down to 0 or even something minuscule, the fire stays the same no matter what.
Oh, that's cool. Oh
That's
fuck, what
how
did I
I
do?
that's how I make those bonfires that's sitting up, the thing that you like to chill on. That's what those are made of.
Yeah.
Show you another one. I think it's AMP, where you've got gloves typed right now. If you type in AMP, you'll find receivers and speakers for amplifiers. You can place them in your JSON files so long as both the microphone and the speaker are in the same JSON file. They work, they're connected to one another. So, like the ones that are in Trader right now, I tested them the other day. A kid hopped in long enough when I was putting that chair in, and he helped me test those things. But the one that's set up
What do I type in? AMP.
AMP, you should be able to scroll through there and find the amplifiers. Yep, there's the speakers. You see them on the poles there. No.
This one.
AMP no, a little higher. Let's see, land, power pole, wood, 1 amp. That.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's got a speaker attached to it. Let me see. And then
Oh, is that the thing that you put? I got
the
you.
megaphone's on it.
Yeah, I know what you
So
mean
you
now.
drop one of those in, and then the amp itself should be in there too.
That's cool.
At the amp itself, you have to find the radio that receives to it. Okay, let's see. I tell you what, highlight that amp again. City, land, whatever AMP. Land, Larno, City 1, going down. Oh, it says lamp, not amp. Never mind. Sorry, yeah, you can go back to the one you're on. Oh, they're more down. Yeah, above. That one or the other one I think will work. Yeah, unit amplifications. Yeah, that's it. All right, highlight it, click it just once. No, the one that had the amp on it. Yeah, that one.
Oh yeah, this one.
Yeah. Okay, no. Don't place it. Don't place it. Go up to the X on where you search the word AMP and click that X where you typed in AMP to look it up. I hit spacebar again. There you go. Yeah. And just click the X to clear that. Okay. Now on the far left, when you scroll down in that list, you'll see a tiny little, like, move it with your wheel. Scroll that down. Just scroll it down with your wheel. Okay, you see that little white dot on the left-hand side that's moving? Grab that.
Yeah.
Grab that and slide it until you see the blue item that you just highlighted a second ago. Like, you'll see it highlighted somewhere through there. I've gotten pretty quick at doing mine because I do this so much. But what this will do, right there, yep, this will bring it to the category that it's found in. Now, somewhere around this should be that amplifier that connects to that same object, somewhere in and around these categories. You should be able to find the radio that the thing goes to. Hey, that miscellaneous spotlight right there, go back. That miscellaneous spotlight just above the one you're looking at, that's the one that I'm using that works. That's the only light in here that works as a light.
Oh, is that the one you got in Trader?
Uh-huh. Yeah, for now, just set it out there in the field, and then you can grab it and rearrange it later. Yeah. But somewhere through here, you might want to scroll up or down because you got the whole list there. But somewhere in there is the other one, the megaphone or whatever.
Where the fuck is that blue thing now? Is that going to highlight the wrong thing again?
Oh, if you've already clicked something else, that blue thing's gone. Because you already clicked on the
Okay.
light, it's gone. Yeah. But I'll pull the name of it later. I'm sure I've got it in one of mine. I think I just closed my editor out to get things to speed up a little. Yeah, when you can find the other half of it, usually I just search AMP to find it. But so long as they're both in the same JSON file, they work. You can't actually amplify things from one place to another.
That's crazy.
Put an
There's
L.
so
Put
much.
AMPL for amplifier. Nope.
No.
Okay. Try microphone, just micro. Static furniture. That's a microscope. Let's see. No. Yeah, it won't be. The more letters you put to it, it'll just continue with the list it's got. Fuck. Try mega. MEGA.
Megaphone.
Okay. Do the blue thing with the megaphone. Click the megaphone and then hit the X again and scroll to where the megaphone is in the list. See if that one gets you closer. It may not. It may put you in the objects section, but there was.
Radio.
Hey, maybe that's what it's under then. Maybe radio.
Okay, so
Yeah,
type
wait.
in
Personal radio, GPS receiver. Yeah, there you
personal
go.
radio.
Land radio. No, you're looking for land radio panel right there at the bottom three. Those three. That's the regular one that works. Go up one more. The bottom. Yeah, that one and that one below it. Yep, not the building, but that one is the one that's at the radio's in it. That's the one that's at radio's in it. And then the one below it is the one that's in the buildings and shit, like randomly through the towns and stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so
You
long
had a
as you've
battery
got
too.
one of yeah, they both operate the same way. It's just two different styles of doing it. But either one of those two placed in with that megaphone, it'll work. They'll connect to one another.
So this here is Radio Zenit then. This
Yep.
building.
Yes,
Land radio building.
Yeah, it's the radio station itself. Yeah.
That's cool as
There's
fuck.
multiples of those radio buildings around, but it also is in it. There is a personal radio that supposedly works, but I've never been able to get it to. So
Holy shit, I've turned it up way too much. Bruh. It's a lot to learn in it for, you know what I mean? Like I'll get the hang of it, but I'm determined to get the fucking hang of it, but why am I can't slow it down, bro. It's fucking
hold C, scroll down on that wheel.
so you just place these next to each other and then
No, they don't have to be next to each other. They can be across the map. They could be across the entire map. So long as they're in the same file, they work together. The distance doesn't matter.
I got you. So how would this work inside game? You just go into it. Oh, fucking hell, bro.
You just walk up to it the same way you would anywhere. Make sure you got a battery to put
Add a
in.
battery.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would put a battery next to it if it was me. That's what I usually do.
Okay, so
BATT.
car battery.
Yep, car battery.
Car battery.
Turn on your collision next to the little sun symbol up there at the top.
This one.
Other side.
No, this one.
Yes. Collision.
Okay.
Now, when you hold that, it should show on the roof. Yep. See it pop for a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, with the camera, there's a certain sweet spot of a distance you can be too close or you can be too far away. Sometimes it won't show. But once it's there, it's just easier to put it there and then move it with the arrow keys rather than trying to find fucking ground every time with every object. Time consuming.
Okay, so now I'm actually fucking being able to do stuff rather than just before the other day when I've been trying to do it on my own, I was just building random shit and then quitting because I didn't know what to do. Like I couldn't get stuff to work on shelves either, but this is kind of, I know it's minuscule compared to like a trade or anything, but like at least I know the principles now of how to do it. So what would I do now? Edit. You said file. Wait, file. Export, right?
And export as a
Export.
JSON. All the way at the bottom.
Export this one.
All the way at the bottom.
Oh, this
Object
one.
spawner JSON. Yes. Yep.
And then do I need to name it or
Yep.
file?
Yep. You got it. Just name it whatever you want. It's going to put it in that same folder that it did with the other DZEs. Now that's ready to be stuck in the server.
Oh, cool. Okay,
Now,
so now
for us, for our protocol, what I'm going to do on the server is instead of having people send me that, I'm going to have them send me the DZE. Have them send me the original.
yeah.
So this way I can go into the file and see it the way, because if the size changes and I only have the JSON, I won't be able to see the size changes.
I got you.
So I'm going to have them send it to me as a DZE, and then I'll be the last, since I'll be the last one to touch it, I'll export it as a JSON, put it in there. And this way I'll also have a copy retained for server 2.
Okay, so you would, for argument's sake, export this one then when it's ready, like after you've gone through it and made sure. Then it
no, you don't have to do that one at all.
No, I know, but yeah, I got you. So how would I make sure this isn't going to crash again? So I go file, close, right? Close, you said?
Close the project. Now, before you do that though, cancel and save it first. Just that. Boom. Now you can close it. It's good. Hit OK. Boom. Brand new project ready to go.
So if I wanted to get that file back up, open.
You can actually, hey, cancel. Hit cancel real quick. And go file and go open recent.
File, open
recent. So it'll show you the last 3 that you worked on in there. Yeah, no, it's a pain in the ass. I don't know why all those arrow things in the file thing do like that.
It didn't crash. Fucking hell. Maybe verifying my files did fucking help whatever was wrong with my fucking DayZ then.
Could have.
Because it hasn't. I haven't had any issues today.
Whatever you sent me before, that one was fucked. That one was. I would delete that thing.
But I had to delete them all today because every one I was making was doing the exact same thing. Like I tried to load it up, it crashed my game. Every single one I've done so far. That's why I was starting to lose heart and like give up, because nothing I seemed to do would work. And every time I tried to open one of them, it'd crash everything. Like I couldn't get not one file to fucking. That's why I didn't bother lining up this fire station properly or anything. Because to be honest, I was expecting it to do the same thing again.
Yeah, I mean, at any given time, so long as you got it as DZE, you can fix it all. You know, remember what I showed you about locking the ones you like, things you want to stay in place. So, like, say for example, if all of the objects you have are in there are sitting at the right frame, you can lock all of them except for the building. Then straighten out your building. Then lock the building, unlock everything else, and move it back into the positions that you want it to be. It should still.
How do I lock them again?
One of 2 ways. You can either do that. L will lock an item. Control L will unlock an item. After you lock it, you'll see a little lock pop up next to the thing, next to the name. Right? See that lock? If you just click the lock, it disappears. So L to lock, Control L to unlock. So, like, say for example, if it was me and you got to do all those, Hit Control A to highlight everything.
Control A.
And now
and
just
then
type L. Now
Bruh.
the top one, land, mill, fire station, unlock that one, highlight that, you can move the building. Now you
Will
can move
everything move with the building?
No, everything else is locked.
Okay. Okay.
Now just
I
click
got
on
you, I
that.
got you.
Actually, just click on that thing's properties. We can do this the easy way. Hey, oh wow. It's not tilted. The building's not tilted.
No, the building's fine. It's just it's sunk into the ground slightly.
Oh, okay. Okay. If I thought you said it was at a tilt. Okay. Unlock
No.
everything. So hit OK.
So
Control A.
Control A.
Control L.
Why is it not? Why is Control A not working?
It's not going to show it to you when it's locked. It won't show it to you. No.
Okay.
Don't do a manual.
Control A.
Move your mouse out of there. Yep, and then Control L.
Control L. Okay.
Now Control A again.
Control A.
Now you can just page up and down to move it up and down.
And that will move everything.
That will move everything all together. Yes.
Bruh. Oh my god.
Now see, outside of doors and stuff like that, it's super easy to set a ramp out there to make it meet the doors, but you want to make sure you get all of your ground on the inside lifted up and out of the dirt.
Yeah, I got you.
Because you can always add ramps, steps. Sidewalk steps are great too. Like you can make them just about any given size and they'll always work. Keep in mind, you can fine tune this too. Control, or I mean, not control, but Alt. Yeah. Oh, we didn't hit control right there because I would have changed the size of everything. I don't think you did. Oh, yeah, there you go.
I'm not gonna lie, I think I might have done. But
It
that
doesn't look
increases
like
the size of everything, right?
Yes. The only time it's going to become problematic is like when certain objects at sea, because they stay in the same position, but they'll change size. So like the boots would have started to merge with one another. Stuff would have sunk into the shelf a little more than whatever. I think you're fine though. Yeah. Uh-oh. You moved something.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay, let's. Did that fix it? I did not fix it. Okay, so say now I fucked up. So open. Wait, if that's saved, it's not gonna. I'm not gonna be able to open that. How do I open the JSON? Because that would have fucking saved, right?
Yes, but it would have retained no size changes. Okay, so go to first, you're going to want to delete everything before you import it. It's just going to put the old ones right back on top of these ones. It's going to bring both in at the same time when you import.
Okay, so
first delete
this.
all these. Yes.
Uh,
Yeah, come out of that menu, come out of file. While you've got them all highlighted, just hit the delete. Just hit Control A and delete.
Control A. Fuck, where the fuck's my delete button on here? Oh, there. Okay.
There you go. Now go to File and go to Import.
File. Import. This.
Yes. And then double click. Yep, that's the one. There you go. Right back where it was.
My shit's not crashing. Oh my god, I can actually fucking do this now. Without having. Oh fuck! I need to full screen this app because I keep clicking outside of the game. Yeah, them arrows are. A few of the things are messed up slightly, but everything's messed up.
Yeah, you had size changes in it and you didn't realize it. That's the default size for everything. So you had size changes to that thing before you even moved it there and stuff. That's why they're all in different positions now. The same thing. Look, the reason that I know is when you first loaded in, go to the roof. Spotted it when you first loaded in. Go up to where that megaphone pole is. See how high that bar is, that DJ
Yeah.
booth. You had that sitting on the roof before. That's how much of a size difference you had added to it.
Okay, so if I click on this and then go control, I don't know how much of that, how big I'd have to make it, but
Yeah.
fuck,
You
I
should be
keep
able to
clicking on.
save it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
It's gonna
almost perfect.
yeah, it's gonna be both a combination of that and yep, that is almost it. Yep.
Damn.
Now you're gonna want to make sure you save it again this time because from the last save,
Okay, so save it now, yeah?
we've overrode it, yeah. So you definitely want to make sure it saves now, yeah.
So Control A to highlight everything.
Now don't do that if you're fixing the if you're moving it, yeah. I was gonna say don't delete it.
So just move it up slightly, just Alt and then up, yeah?
Yep, page up. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Left
So easy to
corner
click the
there.
wrong button. It's only
Oh,
that bit
very
that's
much.
out.
Very much. Yep. Now you just take
Do you
random
think?
pieces and have them meet up at those garages and you're set to go.
Okay, so we just bring this up slightly. Okay, now it's all. I got it. And then just add ramps to the door and the garage doors.
Ramps, stairs, whichever you like.
So we type ramp. Oh, bro! Every time I press M, it brings up the fucking map. Like I don't know
No,
what.
it's you didn't click inside that box. I saw that one. It was still just picking up on the thing. There you go. Now you got it. It didn't turn red before. That one's my favorite one to use.
This one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that one's a guaranteed game elevation, so I know all vehicles can move up that. From time to time, I'll take one of those and a piece of fucking sidewalk or something, and I'll tilt it to that angle or less to make a less of a climb, and I'll set them in accordance with that. But in most cases, I just use that. You're going to want to go inside that door a little bit too, to see what it looks like on the inside, to see the opposite, see if there's a lip that pops to the other side. Yeah,
Oh
see.
yeah.
Yeah, so bring it out a little.
Just gonna have to bring it
Yeah,
out.
just
Yeah.
bring it out a little. Yeah. That's the other reason why whenever I make a building, I always make it in its default position so that it stays up, down, left, and right. Because when it starts to get into diagonal stuff, it gets harder and harder to move things into the position they need. So I make them in a default position. And once I've got them complete, then I can take them up, highlight all of them, set them wherever I want, and set the rotation the way I want. And all the pieces will stay sticking together the way they're supposed to.
So that was what I wanted to ask you as well. It's how do you find the north? Like, how would you know what's north and?
Well, that piece, the ramp, that's the
Yeah.
piece I use as my compass. When I drop it in, I know the downside of the ramp is always facing to the east.
Why is that moving the building and not the fucking ramp? It's just the ramp.
No. The top one is your thing. The bottom one is the
Okay.
ramp. The bottom one is the last. Because it goes in the order of when you put what in. And so, say for
Okay, I
example,
got you.
there's a trick also. If you wanted to change the order, let's say to make something, you just grabbed a bunch of random pieces, shit that you thought would look cool, and you kind of set it to the side, like I was doing the other day with that chair, right? So as I was going from part to part and piece to piece, checking to see what would work and what I liked and what I didn't, to make it a whole object, I highlighted the whole thing, I deleted it, and then I hit the undo button. When you hit the undo button after deleting something, it brings that whole group in together as the last thing that was put in. So it groups the whole section of things together in that list instead of them going back to the way they were before. So, like, say for example, if you were to take that canteen that you got in there and you deleted that top canteen, when you hit the undo button, the canteen would be back, but it would be at the bottom of the list instead of in the middle.
Oh, right. Okay. So if we go static ramp, Control J.
Go. Yeah, see, for me, if I was buttoning them side by side, what I would normally do is put a
Yeah.
ramp down, put all of the ramps that I needed to together, then slide all three of them into place at the same time.
How would I do that?
Okay, so just back up a little bit and get yourself some ground space and just drop another ramp there on the ground. Just anywhere. You're going to want to look at some ground. There you go. There you go. Drop it in. Now highlight that just the one because you got two of them highlighted right now. Just highlight that last one. Control J.
Yeah.
And then move it up. No. Yeah. Delete it. Delete it. Start again. All right. And this time, after you hit Control J, only go up. There you go. Now butt it up against it the way you like. And then once you got it where you want it, hit Control
Yeah.
J again. Do it again. Straight
Up or
up.
down?
Up. It's just a shorter distance. And once you've got this one where you like, highlight all three of them, pick them up as a group, and move them to the other one. I would delete the other ones first. And in some cases, like for right now, because instead of butting them against each other this time, you've got them meshed in together. So I'm not sure about the width of them this time. Hang on.
Yeah, I did that. I messed up. So
But you
Control
did it
J.
on the other one too. It actually would have been fine. Sorry though, either way. Yeah.
Okay. And then highlight off. Wait there.
No,
Delete the other
not
ones.
yet.
First,
Delete
right?
the other ones first. Yeah. So click on the ground. There you go. Turn it around. Delete the other two.
The right. Okay. And then you said
Now,
highlight.
now, what you can highlight all three and move them, but if you don't know if it's quite going to fit, if you might need to add another ramp, what I do is I highlight all three and then I hit Control J and I move the copy over. This way, hold Shift when you do it. But do it at the boxes again. Click on the first box. Now hold Shift and click the second one and the next. That's how you can highlight objects individually. You have to make sure you're holding Shift and you can't miss the box. If you miss the box, it unhighlights everything.
Yeah, I see now.
Hit Control J, make a copy of it, and move the copy over there. If it doesn't fit, move it with the arrow keys first to slide it out. There you go. Now you can grab it with the mouse and move it, rotate it where you need. Yeah.
Oh God.
It's doing that because let go, just let go, and turn off the collision. Yeah. Now, while it's up, hold Shift to rotate it the way you need to. Hold Shift and then click with the mouse. Get the rotation.
Oh, God damn
you got
it.
It's just the bottom three on the list. That's all you got to do. Get the bottom three. One. Yep.
Okay, and then hold Shift and then drag, right?
The box itself. Yeah,
Okay.
you got to start at the box. So Shift and grab the box. There you go. All right. Now, once you've got that, yep, you can move it with the arrow keys and find the spot.
Bro, that's so much easier.
So much easier. Now, say, for example, if it hadn't worked and there wasn't enough ramps to stretch all the way across, then all you would have had to do is go back delete those ones.
To this one,
add
Control
one
D.
more to that one. Exactly.
I
That's
got
why I
it.
always make parts separate, and then I'll combine them one piece as a secondary step. Highlight the bottom 3 when you get in there. Now, there's a quick way to do that too. So when you're operating on the list, let's say if you click the bottom one and then go
Mhm.
3 up, and just while you're still holding shift, click on the other one, it'll highlight everything between the two. So if you
So,
go one up past that one, go to that one.
oh,
No, that was control. Aim somewhere else. And just hit, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So
Go
hold shift.
one above that one. Yeah, well, you've already clicked it once. Go above that one. No.
There you go.
See, if you just go like skip one, yeah, go all the way to the bottom from that first one. From that one, click that one. There you go. Now you got it. That only works on the list though. When it comes to stuff out in the world, holding shift grabs just those things. Holding control while you point and click at something will copy everything in that thing. It'll make a clone of it, so to speak. And it's for finding stuff out on the map. Like if you don't know the name of something, you can point at it. It'll tell you the object name, and you can just remember you're gonna want to go inside the building to check the other side of that. Pretty good. I'd get as close to the door frame as you can. So
It needs to go in. Okay. So
let's come down a little too. Yep, let's come down a little. See that little line, the edge of the ramp?
it's a little twisted as well.
Could be. But you can rotate the thing as a whole, yes, with control. Yep.
Control.
And left and right.
Oh shit.
Yeah, hold Alt to do it slower.
Goddamn control.
Hold C.
Yeah,
backwards on your mouse wheel. There you go. I'm telling you, that is the handiest bit of information too.
Because when the camera's too fast, you can't fucking control where they're going.
Yeah.
So that should work now, right? Apart from obviously that hairbay is going to be in the way, but okay. Where's my dude? Oh.
Heard that.
It's a little high, that's all.
The whole internet heard that.
How is that so high, bro? How did I mess that up? Okay.
You were looking at it from this side. From this side,
true.
you can't see that lip. Yeah, that is one thing
so
about doing shit like this is you have to check all perspectives. I would pull it back a little more. That's what I was trying to show you. If you get a little closer, zoom in. You can see that teeny tiny line. That line is where the curve stops and that top piece becomes flat. You want to make that flat piece line up with the other one. Even if it sinks in a little, make it to where the two top flat pieces meet each other at the same place, and it'll do right. Right there. I bet that's it. Yeah. That's definitely it. You got it.
Hey. Sucking on the right tit now, Adam Musk. And then the same principle then for the just the door, right? And then obviously for the door, it's only tiny. But
yeah, you can use stairs. You can use ramps. I like sidewalk ramps.
Okay, so home, and then if we click, Oh, it'd help if I was actually clicked on the thing.
Oh, wait a minute. You might have just moved some shit when
You're
you
joking.
clicked. No, because when you missed, the first letter is an S, and that's down, and you still had those stairs highlighted. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. For a minute there, when you missed and the first letter was S, I was like, oh God. Yeah, the very first thing you want to do whenever you jump from one object to another is make sure you click on some section of ground or something that's so you don't still have an item highlighted. That way,
Yeah.
if you miss typing, you won't accidentally move something. All right. Well, this is getting to be just a few minutes over 2 hours. That's plenty enough for me to chop up and use as examples later. So I'm going to exit out of this and close this stream in just a second. For a moment. This. Already closed the editor. Let's close this. And this is going to conclude this section for the DayZ editor. I'm going to highlight this, and then later when I go to teach XML, I'll add this into the same playlist for that exact same thing. But this should cover all the basics for DayZ editor for now. I'll get some more advanced stuff in the video. Till next time.